We live in an age of instant. We want the success, but we're exhausted by the process. You're likely feeling it right now, that low-humming anxiety that you aren't doing enough, or worse, that the world is simply too chaotic to conquer. We're burnt out, not because we're lazy, but because we've lost the art of the long game. But what if the secret to overcoming your modern-day stress wasn't more hustle, but a shift in how you perceive the world? Today we're looking at the life of a woman who faced literal poison, societal exile, and unimaginable loss, yet remained unshakable. This is the wisdom of Marie Curie, the scientist of sacrifice, and how her grit can cure your burnout. Module 1. The Fear of the Unknown. Quote, "Nothing in life is to be feared. It is only to be understood. Now is the time to understand more, so that we may fear less." Think about the last thing that kept you awake at 2 a.m. Was it the problem itself, or the unknowns surrounding it? Marie Curie walked into a laboratory every day, dealing with elements that could, and eventually did, kill her. But she wasn't afraid. Why? Because she replaced fear with curiosity. When you stop seeing a challenge as a threat and start seeing it as a puzzle to be solved, the anxiety loses its grip. Don't fear your debt, your career pivot, or your loneliness. Study it. Understand it. The more you know, the less power fear has over you. Transition. But understanding the problem is only half the battle. The other half is how we treat ourselves during the struggle. Module 2. The Focus on Self. Quote, "You cannot hope to build a better world without improving the individuals. To that end, each of us must work for his own improvement." It's easy to get lost in the noise of the world, the politics, the social media feeds, the endless opinions. Curie's advice is radically simple. Stop trying to move the mountain and start by moving yourself. Your only true responsibility is your own growth. When you improve your focus, your discipline, and your character, the world around you improves as a byproduct. Focus on your own craft. Build your own garden. That is how you change the world without losing your mind. Transition. Focusing on yourself requires a specific kind of endurance, a quality Curie possessed in abundance. Module 3. The Gift of Persistence. Quote, "Life is not easy for any of us, but what of that? We must have perseverance and, above all, confidence in ourselves." We often look at successful people and assume they had a secret or a smoother path. They don't. Curie tells us bluntly, life is not easy for any of us. It's a liberating truth. Once you accept that struggle is the baseline, you stop feeling like a victim of your circumstances. You stop asking, "Why me?" and stop asking, "How can I endure?" Confidence isn't the belief that you won't fail. It's the certainty that you can handle the failure when it happens. Transition. But even with confidence, how do we handle the sheer volume of work required to reach our goals? Module 4. The Power of Small Gains. Quote, I was taught that the way of progress was neither swift nor easy. We are the generation of the skip ad button. We want the result yesterday. But Marie Curie spent years stirring massive cauldrons of toxic pitchblende just to isolate a fraction of a gram of radium. She understood that progress is a slow burn. The most significant breakthroughs are often the quietest. Small, boring, daily repetitions are the only path to greatness. Embrace the slow. Transition. To sustain that slow pace, you have to change what you value. Module 5. Curiosity over judgment. Quote, "Be less curious about people and more curious about ideas." How much of your stress comes from people? A boss's comment, a friend's post, a stranger's judgment. Curie invites us to a higher plane. Shift your curiosity from people to ideas. Ideas nourish the mind. Gossip poisons it. The next time you feel triggered, pivot. Focus on a concept, a project, or a philosophy. Let the drama exist, but don't let it live in your head. Transition. By elevating our thoughts, we begin to see the beauty in the effort itself. Module 6. The Spirit of Sacrifice. Quote, "First principle. Never to let oneself be beaten down by persons or by events. There will be days when the world seems determined to break you. A lost job, a broken heart, a failed project. Curie's first principle is your shield. You cannot control the persons or the events, but you have absolute sovereignty over whether you are beaten down. Being defeated is often a choice. You can be hurt, tired, grieving, but as long as you refuse to be beaten, you are still in the game. Transition. It is this torch of resilience that leads us to our final and perhaps most important lesson. Module 7. Living for a purpose. Quote, "We must believe that we are gifted for something, and that this thing, at whatever cost, must be attained." Burnout happens when we do too much of what doesn't matter. Curie believed every soul has a something, a gift or a purpose. When you find that mission, the cost becomes irrelevant. Fatigue feels different when it's in service of a calling. What is that one thing for you? What is the gift you are neglecting? Find it. Pursue it. Because the stress of a hard-fought journey is nothing compared to the stress of a life unlived.